Hey guys, it's Penguin here, and welcome back to another gold making video. In today's video, we are going to be diving deeper into 10.2, and I'm going to be showcasing a handful of new quests as well as items that's going to allow us to turn cheap materials into gold, recipes, mounts, collectibles, and more in patch 10.2. Now, at first, we're just going to highlight the quest themselves and the new items. These items have actually been around since PTR first started, so a lot of you may already know about these, but once that's out of the way, we can actually dive deeper into why this is so important and how we can actually start making gold with it. So I hope you guys enjoy. As always, if you do appreciate the videos, leaving a like or subscribing would be amazing, but let's dive into it. And so to get started, like I said, we're going to highlight the weekly quests themselves and this new shipment sort of system. Now, all of this takes place right inside of the new zone. This is the Emerald Dream, and it's right outside of the main area. Kind of up this path up here. You can kind of see it in the distance up there. That's where like the main reputation quartermaster is. That's kind of where all of your main, in flight path, all of that. So you're gonna make your way kind of down that path into this little side encampment, and you're gonna see these two NPCs. Now, the weekly quests themselves are simply two of them. One of them right here is actually available and we can look at, and this is called Great Crates. And as you can see, it simply requires a single shipment of goods. Now, we're going to dive into exactly what shipments of goods are in a second, but you'll see that we'll be rewarded with reputation, which is nice, a handful of supplies, as well as a plump dream seed. So we're quickly going to accept this right here. And then this druid right here is going to be our new best friend. This guy right here is going to allow us to create the shipment of goods. And as you guys can see, a lot of gold makers probably just got very excited because these shipments of goods simply just require a handful of trade good profession materials. Now, the types of shipments that you can make actually change weekly, but at the time of recording, as you guys can see, we have a cloth shipment, which requires a handful of different wilder cloth, as well as dust and shards. Then we have a food shipment, which requires a handful of different meat, as well as fish. Then we have a gem one, which just requires a handful of diamonds. Then draconium, which requires a handful of draconium ore, as well as awakened earth and fire. Same thing for cascarite, but of course with cascarite, as well as a skinning one for leatherworking that requires either scales or leather. Now, like I said before, this actually changes weekly. So what you see here on screen is not actually all of the possible solutions. I will have a video or photo of the last week options, but you guys will see herbs being used. You will see, cloth was not even an option, I don't think. You will see numerous different options. So it's important to remember that this will change weekly. Now, another important factor of these shipments of goods is that quality doesn't matter. Now, of course, this is fish, so it doesn't really matter itself, so we can just make a fish one, there we go. But if we go to draconium, you have the option of using quality 1, quality 3, or quality 2. Now, of course, you do need a full stack of whatever you're using. For example, this one requires 25 draconium, so you need 25 of a single quality. You can't mix and match, but that means basically all you have to do is buy the cheapest. And see right there, we made one for a shipment of goods. And so moving back over to these weekly quests with these brand new shipments, we can go over here. And remember, this first one only requires one. So we're going to turn it in for a plump dream seed, which we'll talk about in just a little bit, 25 or 250 reputation, as well as some supplies. After that, we will be greeted with the second weekly, and it's basically the same thing, but now you need 5 shipments of goods. And instead of getting the plump dream seed, you're going to get a gigantic one. We can accept that, and we actually already have one of the shipments, but we can go ahead and, you can mix and match. So let's make 2 more of these cooking ones. There we go. And then we can make a few of these draconium ones. And now we can complete this weekly. We get some reputation, some supplies, but we're really looking for that gigantic Dreamseed. And so before moving forward, this is the system that I really want to highlight. Everybody is going to be wanting to complete these 2 weeklies for a variety of reasons. First of all, these weeklies give us reputation, which any sort of completionist is going to want reputation. If you're going after the reusable augment rune, you need reputation for that. If you're going after a certain mount, etc., you need reputation. So automatically, that appeals to a lot of people. Secondly, we also get Dreamseeds. Now, we'll go into that in just a little bit, but there are 3 different types of Dreamseeds during this patch. We have the common version, then we have the rare version, which is the plump that we just saw, as well as the epic version, which is the gigantic one that we just got. And these play a very major part in getting recipes, as well as mounts and pets for gold makers and collectors. And so whether somebody wants reputation or they want the Dreamseeds or maybe they want both, they're going to be encouraged to complete both of these weeklies every single week, either on their main character or on their alts as well. And that means that if people are going to want to complete these weeklies, that means they have to craft 6 shipments of goods every single week on every single character in order to complete this. And that means this is going to take up a lot of cheap materials. Going back to the structure right here, like I said, quality doesn't matter. So what you're going to want to do is literally just find the cheapest combination. Now, of course, we're on PTR, so I don't know if we're going to even have an example of this. We can try our best. Take this with a grain of salt, but as you can see, for some reason right here, the adamant scales 3 are less valuable than 1. Of course, this is not a realistic scenario, I just don't want to hop on live servers, but that means there's no reason to buy quality 1s for 20 gold apiece when you can buy the quality 3s for 11 gold. On live, quality 2s are generally the cheapest unless it's something you can guarantee, but that means you're always going to go for the cheap material. And to all the gold makers who participated in patch 10.1, you can probably see similarities between this system as well as barter bricks. What happens is, the barter brick quests come out each week, and depending on what professions those barter brick quests require, those items that are required to complete those quests go up in value. And that is how a lot of people made their gold. For example, the soup recipe in cooking, every time the cooking bartering brick quest came about, the cooking recipe would go from like 20 gold apiece up to 70 gold apiece. And nowadays, because fish are so expensive, because we keep seeing these influxes of prices, the soups are going higher and higher. I remember pre-10.1, some of these soups were selling for literally less than 5 gold apiece. So we kind of see this weekly influx of prices because of barter bricks. And we can see this exact same thing in this system. A common example right here, a very basic one, is this cloth shipment that just requires basic cloth as well as basic enchanting materials. If people want to make this shipment, they are going to have to buy dust shards as well as cloth. So those values will likely go up. Going back to Draconium, if the rank 2 Draconium is the cheapest value, then that means the rank 2 price of Draconium will likely go up, and let's say it gets higher than rank 3, then people are going to start buying rank 3, and yet again that hikes the price up even more. Taking this another step, the ideal way of completing this is to find the cheapest combination. So, are all of these skinning materials the cheapest? Is it the ore? Is it the diamonds? Is it the food? Etc. And if the food, let's say, is the cheapest, people are going to be buying out the food until that price raises up, and then maybe the diamonds become the cheapest, and so on. So we will likely see an influx of prices for all of these materials going into each week of 10.2. At the current moment, we don't know the weekly rotation, we don't know if it's set, at a certain term, or maybe it's completely random, but that's something to look forward to. Now, outside of just the price influxes of the cheap materials themselves, we need to talk about the rewards. Like I said, reputation is great, but we need to talk about these Dreamseeds. Now, the importance of Dreamseeds is that they're used in Emerald Bounties, which is a brand new system in the zone of patch 10.2. Now, for everybody out there, the reason why you would want to do this is because cool pets and mounts are locked behind this. So if you're a collector, that's perfect for you. Keep in mind that the pets at this point, the ones that I've seen, are soulbound. They're not cageable, so not necessarily a gold making thing, but a handful of new recipes also come from these Dreamseeds. The new cooking tea recipe comes from the Plump Dreamseed. Then we have from Inscription, the Vantis rune comes from any sort of the Dreamseed drops. So this could be the common, rare, or epic version. Same thing goes with one of the new glyphs, which is the mark of the Dream Stag. And then lastly, the brand new Alchemy Healing Potion, the Dreamwalker's Healing Potion, also comes for the Plump Dreamseed. So if you guys are trying to, get those recipes as soon as possible, you also want to make sure you do these weeklies to get your free and easy Plump Dreamseed, and you also get a gigantic one to help with the other random drops. Now, a quick note, I'm not going to go into it much, but Super Bloom is a new weekly activity. You're going to want to complete this once a week. It's a timed thing that happens every hour, and the new inscription contract drops from Super Blooms. So this is something you want to focus on, but we're not going to focus on it in this particular video. Once you have yourself a Dream Seed, you're going to want to make your way to an Emerald Bounty, which happens to be over here, and you're going to see a mound of dirt. Here you can inspect it, and I believe this has to do with the types of mounts, but we're going to ignore that for now, and you're going to just want to right-click one of your seeds. For this example, let's do the plump one, and it's going to plant it. Now, keep in mind, if someone is already planted, you can actually contribute to it. So once it starts growing, we will have a 3-minute growth cycle, and if we actually interact with it, as you can see, we can actually contribute Dreamseeds as well as Dewdrops. Dewdrops is a new collectible item that you get off of mob drops, or I should just call it a mob drop, not necessarily a collectible. This is how you actually kind of grow your seedlings. So like I said, if somebody had already planted here before you, you can simply just contribute your Dreamseed and you can get this plump, dreamy bounty. This right here, because this is the rare version, it has the ability to contain a unique battle pet and some profession resources. However, we're going to see that the profession reagents is not very exciting. You do have the option to increase your reward by contributing dewdrops. You technically need to contribute 500 dewdrops, which is a lot, but simply just contributing 5 will allow you to get a small emerald bounty, which has a chance of getting a mount, some supplies, stuff like that. I will have photos of me contributing it all the way. Basically, it just increases your bloom, but it's definitely not required. We'll see if we get lucky during this grow cycle. We have to wait 1 minute and 40 seconds, but I did a lot of these off screen, and I actually got that cooking tea recipe from a plump Dreamseed that I only contributed to once. So don't feel like you have to contribute all of your dewdrops unless you're going for a mount or something. And alright, 2 seconds left, and boom, there we go. As you guys can see, this is called a Dreamseed cache. So whenever you see World Dreamseed cache drop, this is what we made. And if we loot it, we got our bounty, which we open up again, and hey, we actually got a pet. I think this one is super cute, it's adorable, but as you can see, it's not cageable. But yeah, this is how the Dreamseeds work. We can try our luck again. As you can see, this moves every time we use it, but we can go over here and we can go ahead and plant the gigantic Dreamseed if we like. There we go. Yet again, this will give us another 3-minute cooldown, and at this point in time, if you don't have any dewdrops, they're right here. The Super Bloom also gives you a lot, so that's another reason to do that weekly. You can kind of perform tasks around it, like pull weeds and stuff, and this will give you like 4 dewdrops, stuff like that, but we're not going to really worry about it. The only thing I'm going to do is contribute 1 to get the bloom package, and I will see you guys in about 2 minutes and 30 seconds. Alright, we have about 20 seconds left, but I quickly want to mention that this gigantic version either contains, it says it can contain a unique amount or a large amount of profession reagents, but we're just going to say that the profession reagents is very anticlimactic. In about 8 seconds, who knows, knowing my luck, I might get a mount, but the amount of reagents that you get is definitely not very large. Once again, here is our Dreamseed cache. We open it up, we have our bounty, and yeah, that gigantic bounty gave us 14 leather, 11 scales, and a single hide. Now honestly, that's not the worst. I've definitely gotten worse out of these, but still, that is not a very large amount of goods. So definitely, I will say the seeds are not that good in terms of profession goods, but the recipes are really what you're after as a gold maker. But yeah guys, that is basically it. Now before I end this video, I do want to quickly recap since we covered a lot, but basically there is a new set of weekly quests that require shipments of goods. These shipments take a variety of mats, which change weekly, and quality of mats does not matter. Meaning you're going to want to use the cheapest available combination to craft your 6 needed shipments each week. Because everybody's going to want to complete these weeklies due to reps and Dreamseeds, you will likely see a surge in prices each week, similarly to the barter bricks. So this is a great way to make gold if you can kind of time the market well and take advantage of that reset day and the different surges of prices. Additionally, if you don't want to play the market at all, you can turn these cheap mats into potential recipes and collector's items. Because you're going to be collecting those dream seeds, make sure you plant them and hopefully you get lucky enough to get some of the new recipes. I have a feeling that, the Vantis rune is going to be something people want. Who knows about the cooking item, but people definitely will likely want the healing potion, so there are some good recipes out there. And at the end of the day, to the collectors out there, if you want some really cute pets or mounts, this will be a great system to add in to your daily gold making activities. But yeah guys, that's about it. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you have any questions, feel free to leave them down in the comments down below. And as always everybody, have a good day.